Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a minute since I've made a video, but I can assure you I've been working diligently behind the scenes. I had some patch-up work I needed to do for some final mixes so I could send them to band members. I had a distorted bass part and a distorted guitar part. Luckily they were isolated so I could just quickly fix them. But when I was doing the guitar work, I needed to get some new strings. I went to my local shop and they did not have my usual choice, which is the D'Addario NYXLs. I usually play 11 through 52 if they have them. I'll play any kind of 11s. The 48, I believe, is the other one that they have. But I like the 52s. But they did not have them, so I had to choose a backup, which was the D'Addario XLs. And these are like almost half price. At my shop they were $6.99, and these are the NYXLs are $12.99. And so I'm like, are these twice the string? So I had a opportunity to play the XLs and sort of compare them in a recording context, and I guess that's basically what I've been doing lately. If I were to go out and play, go and do a tour, like a few dates, and I had the opportunity to get some of these, like if I had a box of these, or say like I met a D'Addario guy and he gave me a box, I would be very happy to play these. I think these would be great for live, because usually live I take my strings off every 2 days, so these would be good to just burn right through these. They'd sound great, you know, you would never notice because they'd always be like a new set of nice zingy strings. But at home, when you're being more discerning, you know, you're up against your amp, or even just at home, you know, with not even plugged in. I do that a lot, you know, just working on parts, and you start hearing the string and the characteristics of the strings. I think that what you get, actually, which is, I find fascinating, I don't know if other people have noticed this, but I actually feel like I got a audible increase in output, like almost like a 3 dB bump as far as overall output in the volume goes, which was significant. And I also noticed a better fundamental tone, like really on the low notes. The low notes are way more defined for me with the NYXLs than they are the standard XL. There's just more note definition. Also, you get more high-end, top-end sparkle and sheen, if you prefer that overall. So much so that I have to roll back sometimes in certain settings to get some of that treble off. But it's really nice to have it on tap, especially in a recording context, because I find sometimes that you always, once you record, you're adding that kind of stuff into EQ anyway. So it's nice to just bring the goods in the first place. I have noticed that the tracks that I recorded with the NYXLs, when I set up the mics correctly and everything else is right, I'm going to get a little more output and just a little more upfront dynamics and clarity out of the NYXLs. So for me, they're worth the extra money because of that. You're getting, just a more hi-fi presentation of what you're doing on guitar. And I'm not saying that that will somehow clean up the way you play or anything like that, but you're just getting more tone. You know, I think that's the difference. This, you might get a little more string noise, you know, in comparison. This has just got more fundamental tone, a little more top-end sparkle, but I think that they are a little stiffer feeling string than the XL for whatever reason. That would be the one downside. I could picture somebody complaining about that. Everyone's different, but I do feel like, even though I love these strings, and I like the way they feel on your fingers, almost like they're coated compared to the regular nickel wound, but I do believe they are stiffer, at least for me. That's my impression. Everyone's different, I think that would be the only downside, is especially when you get into these heavier gauge strings, which I'm really not good enough to play heavy gauge strings. I just got addicted to the way it sounds, and I'm continuing to work hard as a player. But you know, I really should probably be playing 10s and with lower action. I just love the way this Strat sounds with the D'Addario NYXLs, kind of high. But anyway, that's my little PSA on these strings. I have no connection to, you know, the company or anything like that. I don't have any connection to any companies. Anything I talk about on this channel that has to do with gear or purchases is strictly my own observation, just thinking that it might help somebody make a decision. You can save a few bucks, you know, with these, but I do think you get a better string better, especially for recording. And that's mainly what my channel's about, you know, recording from the Zoom. So no affiliation with the company, and I have no affiliations with any companies and don't want any. I'm just recording my music and trying to help people here on YouTube. But I think that if you want a really, really like great string for recording, these NYXLs are worth that extra money. XLs are great too, especially for live. And if you think that the NYXLs are stiff, but if you don't mind spending those extra bucks, I think you're going to be happy, you know, with the output, what you get out of them. Because like I said, I think it's a little bit of increased output, a little more hi-fi presentation as far as like the fundamentals of the notes. I'm probably getting that wrong, but just the overall, like when I hit a low note, it's more defined, rounder, and like has more impact with the NYXLs. And if I hit like something sparkly like a D chord where you're just isolating those strings, you definitely get a little more sheen, you know, with the NYXLs. So anyway, I hope everybody out there is doing okay with their recording projects. January's getting off to a good start. I feel really productive. Not productive on YouTube so much, but I feel very productive with what I'm doing, getting close to getting my record done, and talking about guitar strings. All right, next time.